This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV for Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. If you're watching us on YouTube, remember our address is at 5 in 10. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell for notifications, but please make sure we never get canceled. I'll tell you how after the break. Topic number 5 today is Kenya. Kenya, yes, protests in the capital city of Nairobi have left several people dead as thousands of protesters stormed the parliament Tuesday, protesting new tax proposals. They burned part of the building. Lawmakers had to flee through a tunnel to get away from protesters who drew fire from police. Medical workers say at least 5 people were killed. President William Ruto has vowed to squash the protests. People are angry over the bill that was passed that raises new taxes, part of an austerity measure to try to bring Kenya's government spending, the economy back under control. Lawmakers passed the bill before the protests got out of hand, and they had to flee through a tunnel to get away from the protesters. Also on Tuesday, hundreds of Kenyan police officers arrived on the island of Haiti. You might remember we mentioned this a few weeks ago, that Kenya is supplying police officers to try to retake control of Haiti from the armed gangs that have essentially seized control of the island from the government there. The Kenyan police have been criticized by civil rights organizations as they've got a reputation for abusing people. So a lot going on with Kenya, which occupies a very strategic position in the eastern part of Africa. The great powers, in this case, 21st century, that would be China and the West, NATO, the EU, the United States, now angling for influence in China. It's almost as though the recolonization of Africa has begun, and the 21st century, the rest of it, is going to be very interesting as the West and China compete for the natural resources that Africa has in the ground. Topic number 4, Israel. The Ultra-Orthodox may be forced to go to war. The Haredim, Israel's High Court of Justice on Tuesday, ruled 9-0 that the government must draft Ultra-Orthodox men for the military. The court called the current exemption scheme, where students in yeshiva receive temporary deferrals until reaching the age of exemption from service, unconstitutional. Which is interesting because Israel doesn't have a constitution. They were getting ready to draft one in 1948 when their neighbors attacked. They went to war, and that project kind of got put on the shelf. They've never come back to it. Anyway, the ultra-Orthodox men, they go into yeshiva, they study Torah, and when they hit 26, they're no longer eligible to be drafted. Well, they consider, the Haredim, they consider military service a distraction from Torah study and a threat to their way of life. However, on October 7th, the attack by Hamas sort of changed everything in Israel, and the general public, many of whom kind of resent the fact that the Haredim don't need to do mandatory service, say that, look, we all need to come together in this. Now, there is an enlistment bill that's working its way through the Knesset. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu trying to find a solution with the ultra-Orthodox parties that are part of his ruling coalition. If Shas and United Torah Judaism pull out of the coalition, you're back to having more elections and nobody probably pulling together a majority. Our friend Avi Lipkin once told us the reason Israelis have elections is to find out which political parties have to make a deal with the ultra-Orthodox to run the country. There's some truth to that. Prior to the ruling on Tuesday, Knesset member from United Torah Judaism, Moshe Gafni, tweeted, "There has never been a ruling by the Supreme Court in favor of the members of the yeshivas in the interest of the ultra-Orthodox public. There is not a single judge there who understands the value of learning Torah and their contribution to the people of Israel in all generations," end quote. This is really a sore point in Israeli politics and society, as even the Orthodox Jews have some resentment toward the ultra-Orthodox, who they feel are getting a pass on the responsibilities that come with being a citizen of Israel. We'll see how this plays out. Topic number 3, the DHS is spying on you. Probably, if you're watching this program, you are considered a threat to national security. We've talked about this previously. Comes now word that there was a group inside the Homeland Security Department under President Biden, now disbanded, that classifies supporters of Donald Trump, members of the military, and people with religious views. Right there, we probably have named all or most of you watching as persons likely to commit domestic violent extremist attacks. Yeah, right. This is the face of domestic violence extremism right here. Not a member of the military, never served, but you got me on the other two. Anyway, DHS announced the formation of the Homeland Intelligence Experts Group in September of last year to, quote, provide advice and perspectives on intelligence and national security efforts, end quote. But according to the legal group, the law firm America First Legal, quote, it was a completely partisan group designed to provide top cover for the department's radical agenda, end quote. AFL and former Ambassador Richard Grinnell filed a lawsuit against the Homeland Intelligence Experts Group soon after it was announced. That motivated Republican members of Congress to take some action against it to avoid further exposure in the courts. The organization decided to just disband, but it appears to have been active for at least a year before it finally folded up its tents. During a meeting in September on collective posture and associated challenges, the group discussed ways to get around constitutional restrictions on their domestic intelligence gathering goals. So they're not supposed to spy on us without a reason. Fourth Amendment, unreasonable search and seizure. The group wanted to reclassify political dissent as a public health issue, kind of like they're trying to do now with gun violence, so that mothers and teachers would feel comfortable coming forward. They also wanted people tagged with in the military and religious beliefs to profile them as having indicators of extremists and terrorism, which would then give the Department of Homeland Security cover to spy on us. Yeah, the reason they wanted to classify this as a public health issue was to encourage mothers and teachers to essentially rat on their families and neighbors. Anyway, the fact that they're more worried about people like us than about violent left-wing groups like Antifa, or the unvetted millions that have crossed the southern border since January of 2021 when Joe Biden took office, that tells us pretty much everything we need to know about this administration and the people behind it. Topic number 2, RFK Jr. and the debate. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will not be on the debate stage tomorrow night in Atlanta when Donald Trump and Joe Biden square off. According to CNN, Kennedy fell short of its poll requirements for the event, leaving it between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Kennedy calling this move undemocratic, cowardly, and un-American. CNN said they needed to score at least 15% in 4 national level accredited polls. Kennedy hitting the 15% mark in only 3 national polls. But even though he's on the way to satisfying the electoral vote ballot access requirement to get on the ballot in November, he will not be on the stage. To be quite honest, both the Trump and Biden campaigns colluded to keep Kennedy off the stage because both of them see Kennedy as a potential spoiler in the upcoming election. Look, the American people should hear from Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whether they agree with him or not. But Republicans, Democrats, they have rigged the game. It is a uniparty in Washington, D.C. Kennedy has filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission, but they are not likely to follow up on it since they're part of the deep state in Washington, D.C. Coming up, the left cannot meme. You know those funny little meme posters that show up on your social media? Yes, leftists, liberals, progressives cannot meme. I will explain next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take a quick break to tell you how you can get your copy of both of these incredible new works in the Out of This World and Gate of the Gods special offer. When you order this incredible offer from the SkywatchTVStore.com, you'll receive the brand new book, Out of This World, Are UFOs Aliens, Spirits, or Pure Hokum by Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, that exposes the faults in both the science and theology regarding the existence of UFOs. The very real possibility that UFOs are manned by extraterrestrial beings much smarter and far more spiritual than humans that are preparing to deceive mankind as we approach the biblical end times. The recent surge of UFO activity all around the globe and why Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis is calling for Project UFO, a national strategy to determine if we face an existential threat, and so much more. But that's not all. You'll also receive Gate of the Gods, Revelation, the Messiah, and the Second Coming of Babylon by Tyler Gilreath, that brings to life the war between Jesus Christ and the power of darkness as illuminated in the book of Revelation. A cosmic end-time struggle between the Hebrew king of promise and the Old Testament gods of Babylon. The hidden Babylonian framework in the book of Revelation that can only be seen through ancient Near Eastern eyes, unmasking Babylon the Great, and more. Also included in this must-have special offer for a very limited time, Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis's best-selling book, Give Me Liberty, Not Marxism, and his book, Kings of the East, China's Plan to Eliminate America and Impose a Communist World Order. All of these items hold a retail value of $84. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Out of This World and Gate of the Gods special offer right now.
Item number 1 today. The left cannot meme, submitted for your consideration. Memes require an understanding of basic human nature and a minimal sense of humor, both of which are lacking in people who are progressives. They have no sense of humor, and they fail to understand basic human nature, which is why they believe the things they do. Case in point, the fact that when leftists try to meme on social media, it is usually not funny, and sometimes it is what soccer fans would call an own goal. They kick it into their own net by mistake. Case in point, this one here. I mean, seriously, this was shared by a progressive. This was not made up by a right-winger trying to make the left wing look bad. They did not, after lovingly crafting this, did not read it out loud to see. I'm not going to say it because it'll get us kicked off. But come on. Leftists cannot meme, but they're trying to get better. Seriously, the president's main re-election political action committee, called Future Forward USA Action, is trying to raise $10 million to, according to Reuters, compete with Republican Donald Trump's social media machine that spits out a wall of viral videos, end quote. In other words, they're spending $10 million to learn how to meme. And based on examples like this, you can see why. This week on Skywatch TV, we continue our 4-week series featuring Tyler Gilreath and Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis. Their books, Out of This World and Gate of the Gods. Gate of the Gods, that's just the English translation of Babel, Gate of the Gods. How are these topics connected, the UFO phenomenon and portals? And what role, how does all this fit into the end times? Don't miss this series. You can watch them right now at skywatchtv.com. All of our video content is always there. I think I've lost Grace's attention. You can also watch it right now over the air. Our broadcast schedule posted skywatchtv.com/channels. It's also at our Roku and Apple TV channels. If you have a set-top box, please make sure you've got the Skywatch TV app installed on that box. But better yet, download our free mobile app to smartphone or tablet, iOS, Android, Amazon, Kindle Fire. We have apps for all of those, and you'll find links to the app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Follow 5 in 10 on social media. We're on YouTube at 5 in 10, X, formerly Twitter, at _5_ No, see, it's at 5_in_10. There we go. Or just follow the links in the notes below. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. And pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.
Hi friends, Pastor Mike Spaulding here to announce the Go Therefore 2024 conference. We will gather Friday and Saturday, July the 26th and 27th at Harvest Revival Center in Brookville, Ohio. This year we welcome the following scholars, Bible teachers, and researchers: Derek and Sharon Gilbert, Joe Horn, L.A. Marzulli, Dr. Judd Burton, Pastor Paul Begley, Pastor Carl Gallups, Dr. Greg Reed, Tom Dunn, and Dr. Sherry Tenpenny will be doing a book signing for her new book, Walking with God. Live stream is available. Ministry tables are available for like-minded ministries. Hotel and other information is on the conference website, www.gothereforeconference.com. Gothereforeconference.com. Looking forward to seeing you.